Okie dokie.
You're on.
Oh, okay.
You're leading this thing today. What part of sitting in the center chair doesn't...
Well, I was playing with this, and then you sat down in my chair.
Nope, I sat down in the open chair.
And
You sat down in my chair
I don't
first.
know what I'm doing. I
Yeah.
am vastly underqualified to be in this position.
We all are. So, go ahead.
Hi, welcome to Shift Points.
That's it? That's the best we get?
That was pretty poor.
That was... Which one's
You don't even know what button you're pushing.
No, I don't, because I haven't missed these at all.
Is this going on there?
I don't know.
Oh, it's definitely going on there. Hi, welcome to Shift Points. I'm Jackson.
I feel like you're just barely coming in the mic.
These are...
Lift the mic up and bring it back to you.
You're going to have to edit this one, I think.
Nah. Do it live. There you go. Try that.
Hi, welcome to Shift Points.
That's so much better. I can hear you now.
Yep.
See?
For the third time today, I'm Jackson.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Win.
I hate that when I got in this seat that I just fell into y'all's place and I didn't use my last name.
I
See,
hate how
these
close
seats
this
are
microphone
contagious.
is
Not
to
our
me.
fault.
We'll just move it back a little. There you go. All right, Jackson. How's it going, bud?
It's fine. How are you?
I'm great.
I sat here because I wanted to play with the soundboard.
But now you're leading.
Now I'm in a terrible predicament. I've got a camera directly in front of me, which I hate. I made a cameo in a video that'll probably come out this
Friday.
week. Okay. Did you lead me in it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, so I did the intro on the video.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm turning this around because I hate being on camera.
Yep. And now he's going to be forever on YouTube.
I'm probably the thumbnail too, knowing Jake.
No.
Do it, Jake.
No.
No,
Come
Sorry,
on.
I would like for some people to watch.
who's this old man? 26.
Just kidding.
You're the youngest one here.
You are the youngest one here.
Yeah.
All right, you going to start this thing off, or are we going to
we're
just
started. We're just off the rails a little. I feel like we should bring these down. We should cool ourselves off a bit. I don't know what I'm
This
doing.
is why once you start, you just leave it alone.
I mean,
We're
turn it
set.
back up. Okay, here
We're
we are.
set where we are.
We're wide open.
That's it.
All four barrels.
All right, man.
So, what are we going to talk about?
Wow. You
When?
need energy.
When? Would you like to
This is
Yeah,
bad,
I
Jackson.
can start us
Just like get some.
I'll start us out.
I know what time you woke up this morning.
Yeah.
You know what time
Jake always
I
asks
woke
us
up
about
this
our
morning.
weekend. How was your week? How was your weekend? That's what he asks. And we all say the same thing.
We were all together.
worked,
We were all
blah,
together
blah, blah. We
Friday.
had no life.
That was good.
Shot off fireworks.
That's
That
true.
was fun.
Yeah, a little pre-Independence Day fireworks show.
That's
that I
right.
missed the fireworks, but I get to eat the food, so I
Yeah.
win.
Yeah, well,
Well,
the fireworks
next
were
year,
good.
you know, baby, have a little more miles on him.
Yeah, that's true.
He'll push that envelope a little bit
He was ready
more.
to go to bed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
too.
he was so
yeah,
tired.
that's fair.
But that was fun. Nate almost won. I'm gonna
Did he
just go
really?
ahead and
Yeah,
go
let's
through
go.
Oh, I
this.
haven't heard about this at all.
Let's get on this, 'cause
Nate
this is-
almost won, and then he moved someone out of the way, and they ran into him.
Oh
and
no!
bent the rear end.
So this is at Dry County, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So lead us through this.
I
a little
wasn't
more.
there.
I know you weren't there, but lead us through what happened with Nate, because I didn't know anything about this. I'm a terrible friend, and I forgot to ask.
Nate was super fast, and I guess had some issues with this car earlier on in the day. I hope
You guys
I'm
were
saying- I hope this
running
is right.
y'all's car, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
the
okay.
Nova. Yeah, he didn't run a street stock.
Okay, got it.
He was
Gotcha.
going to, but
Yep.
he was running the Nova fast. And I guess he moved this guy out of the way, spun him out,
Ooh.
and then he hit him in the left rear. I hope that's right. Anyways, took him out of the race. Nate,
Does Nate watch this podcast?
I don't know whose fault it was, but I've heard from a few people, so I have an idea.
Well, come on, you're leaving us out here. I feel like you're withholding information.
It's Nate. He's saying it's Nate.
Nate-
He doesn't
Yeah,
wanna
I
say
got
it.
you. Yeah, I understand. I'm just making sure everyone
it
does.
sounds like this guy gave him some issues. So, anyways, that happened. That's unfortunate.
So Nate got into the back of him, the guy starts to spin, and then Nate kind of
Yeah.
run into the side of him as well.
He ran into the side of Nate when he was going around him. I think that's what happened.
Gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
Bent
So
the
Nate
rear
got him
end.
spun, and he hooked in
Yeah.
a little.
Yeah, looks like in the video he barely, but he did tell me he moved him.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it's short track racing, right?
yeah,
It's gonna
and
happen.
I think it's probably pretty hard to save one of those cars too. Once
No, that's true.
once you get bumped into, it's like on those street tires.
Yeah. You're,
But,
you're most
yeah.
likely going around.
Yeah. So the guy went around and Nate almost had
This
him.
was for the lead?
He ran the fastest lap of the race.
Did he? How'd
Even
it
though he
boy?
was out by whatever. I think it was in the teens. They were running a 35 lap race.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But he was this happened for the lead.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, 32 car wasn't even close to him.
That's what
evidently.
I was wondering. Yeah, I was about
Yeah.
to ask that. So did
So
they
after
finally
Nate was
enforce
out
some
of it,
rules
then-
on the 32?
He passed. He
pa-
passed Tech.
Huh, good.
So no.
Took the heads.
So no, they didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he's doing, man.
Yeah, that guy's fast.
Yeah, fast.
Yeah,
I don't-
whatever's causing it, he's bad fast.
Yeah, I mean, all the cars there are the same, so
Sure.
I don't know what he's
Just
doing.
like every other racetrack
Yeah.
in America,
Yeah.
they're all definitely legal and the same.
Yep. I don't know how the other racing went.
Nobody cheats. Nobody cheats.
No,
No.
they don't. I don't know how the other racing went with the late models and whatnot.
Right.
I don't know how Eugene did. I don't know anything.
Eugene, from what I understand, was going for third, and car got loose, spun and hit the inside wall. It's hurt pretty bad.
Oh, really?
No
Yeah.
good.
Hit the
I
left.
didn't know
Hit the left side, right side. I don't remember. Anyway, the picture I saw, I think it was the left side, but I could be completely wrong about that. I wasn't
Oh,
there
shoot.
either. I was working an event with Emily on Saturday, so I didn't get to go
Yeah.
at all.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Up in
Yeah.
Wolf Laurel. He didn't come by Logan's.
No, I tried to get Emily to go, but she said something about going to see our baby. I don't know.
What?
I know. Weird, right?
What's your deal?
No, but like I said, I heard it was. I think that happened somewhere in the 60 to 70 lap range.
Yeah, 'cause it
So
was 125. Is that how many?
it was 125 laps. Yeah, it was a long race.
Crazy.
And they didn't start till 9:30. That race didn't start until 9:30.
Yeah, no one
Boy.
got home until
It was
super
late.
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 Then they shot off fireworks.
Yeah, I think Tyler went, and he said he didn't leave until like 11 o'clock. I think
Oh, no good.
something like
You know
that.
how I feel about going to bed at 2:00 in the morning.
Well, that would have been like 12:30.
Yeah, that's
so.
rough. That's rough.
Yeah. By the way, we are one person short this week. Toby's not with us. Did want to mention that real quick. Toby's great grandmother did pass. All thoughts and prayers and all that good stuff going out to the Norton family. We love those guys. We love Eugene. We love Toby. We love the whole family. Thinking about you guys. We know you guys listen and watch, and we appreciate it very much. And we will see you guys soon. So just wanted to sit that in there real quick, just that we thinking about them. So, are you going to lead us, or do you want me to keep going?
I mean, I thought we was talking about Tri-County.
Well, I mean, that was pretty much all we have because none of us were there.
Yeah, none of us were there. Yeah, let's keep,
So we're done with
let's keep
Tri-County.
rolling.
Let's go on to the very emotional for some people race in Chicago.
It was, did you see? I know you didn't watch it,
I
but
watched
did
the
you?
last 3 laps.
You watched the last 3
watched
laps.
every
Yeah,
lap.
once Dad.
I watched-
once
I missed the
Dad heard
beginning.
What was happening? He was like, "I got to turn TV."
Yeah, I missed the
Yeah.
first like 30 laps because I thought it was recording and I was gonna just like watch it on tape delay, but it didn't. It
That's
didn't
a shame.
record. It was really sad.
You
Yeah.
can start over.
I tried. It wouldn't let me.
That's the first race in a long time that I've watched every lap. Well, probably since like the 500 with you guys.
Yeah, right.
But
Yeah, it was.
non-500 race.
So let's talk about it. So NASCAR. Last week we talked about like where we would like to see NASCAR go and different stuff. It was a historical weekend. It was a historic weekend in that it was the first street course that NASCAR has ever run. This is for the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series, but in general, it's the first time they've ever raced on a street. Not the first time they've raced in Chicago. They raced at Soldier Field twice in the 40s,
Right.
which is pretty cool. I think that could happen again one day. By the way, I was thinking about that, and I was like, I could definitely see them moving the class from like LA and moving it into like Chicago or some of
Yeah.
these other stadiums around. They could definitely do that. I was thinking about that last night. Historic weekend. They go street racing. Everyone, honestly, I don't know about you guys, but everyone that I saw on the internet absolutely just crapping on it. It was going to be terrible. The racetrack was going to be awful. There's going to be no passing. It was going to be a disaster. Someone was going to get shot because they're in the terrible place of Chicago. They needed to race armored cars. I mean, this is all
I had that thought myself.
yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, yeah.
Well, I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was.
Yeah, so I tried to manage my expectation a little bit because I was like, okay, I'm really bad to. I mean, that's what we do here, right? We jump to conclusions. It's our whole. I mean, if we didn't come here and give our opinion, there would be no reason for us to record this, right?
Yep.
So, but I tried to kind of keep that in because I wanted it to be cool. And then they started running practice, and I told Dad, I said, if anything, even if this race is terrible and everything is poor, it looks really cool.
Yeah.
It looks super cool. Those cars going down the streets are going under red lights.
Yeah,
They've
you
got
can
the
see
whole
cars,
Chicago.
like, pedestrians
in the background. Yeah, and they've got the whole Chicago skyline. in the background, it looked really cool. I didn't expect to be like excited about it, but I was like, that's really cool. Yeah. And then the racing happened.
Yeah.
The Xfinity race, from what I understand, I didn't get to watch it, but I heard there wasn't a ton of passing. I think those guys were just kind of tiptoeing around.
They only turned 25 laps.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was the other thing. I would say not everything was a success this weekend, right? There was some weird stuff that happened. A lightning delay forces the festival and the racing to stop on Saturday. Yeah. They move everyone out, and that was, from what I understand, was a city decision. The city said, if there's lightning in the area, we have to evacuate this area.
Oh, okay.
And NASCAR was planning to go back racing, but they wouldn't do it without the fans, which, of course, they said that 70 or 80% of the tickets that were bought this weekend were new fans, someone who'd never been to a NASCAR event. So, of course, they're going to push back. They want to run this with fans.
You fill out a survey when you buy a ticket that's like, have you ever been to NASCAR before?
Yeah. Or like, how many races have you been to this year? Have you never been? Stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure with that event, especially, they put that in there because NASCAR wanted to justify why they did this, right? I mean, you don't spend this money and do this amount of work and not have some sort of justification. And it sounds really good on television to say that 70 or 80% of the people were new fans. Yeah. You know, it's engaging the market. It's exactly what they did at LA. It's the whole thing. So they evacuate, and then they decide they're going to run it on Sunday. Sunday morning, it comes a record-breaking downfall in Chicago. Yeah. When I woke up and saw that at 10 o'clock, I watched the Formula One race, and then I rolled straight into that. And I was like, oh, there's no way we're racing today.
Yeah, there's like a foot of water in some places.
I was going to say, at one point, they had a stack. I saw a picture of a stack of 4 tires sitting, laying on their side, stacked up. And the whole bottom tire was completely submerged in water. And this was on pit road. I was like, how in the world are they going to do this? And I don't know. I still don't know how they did it.
I don't either.
But the Xfinity race, they were 2 laps away from halfway. So technically, a NASCAR race is not supposed to be official unless it gets to halfway or to the end of stage 2, whichever one comes first. They were 2 laps away, and then they called it on Sunday morning. And I'm sure that made a lot of people mad. But like, you have to understand, right? This is a street course. We don't have any lights. We are racing to a time. That's another thing we'll talk about when we get there. Yeah. They were pushing it really close on everything. So, excuse me, I'm going to choke to death before this is over, I think. Why? Thanks for that. Okay. Anyway, so they call it 2 laps early. They award stage 2 points in the order that they finished, and then award the race points that way. I think that's just a save face with the city. I think that was just that's what I personally think. They were like, they didn't want to push this. They didn't want to push it to Monday and have the city shut down for another day. Right. Imagine how much did this cost? How much did this event cost? It had to be bananas.
I bet it was 6 figures.
Yeah, I'd say 6 figures. I'd say you're probably right.
Yeah, that's how much they spent on Jersey barrier.
There's no telling.
There was 4 miles of the barriers they put around the track. 4 miles. Plus the fence.
I can't imagine the work that went into that.
Yeah, I know. And it was, that's crazy. So, I mean, like I said, definitely nothing was perfect about this weekend. They end up cutting the Cup race short by 25 laps because they're racing to darkness, basically. That sucks. And they didn't do it before the race started, which I think they probably should have, because that really changes how you play strategy.
They could have totally figured that out before the race started.
Yeah, I mean, all you got to do is say, okay, we're going to run a roughly minute and some odd second lap.
Yep.
Times 100.
Yep.
And then you say, what time is sunset here? It's cloudy, by the way, so give or take this.
Yeah, and they had 2 hours to figure that out.
They had all morning to figure it out.
They had... when did they start? 6:30 or 7?
It was about 6:30. It was about 6 by the time they got through the delay.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have figured that out for sure.
Yeah, I think they should have done that. So that's definitely a criticism. They should have if they were going to shorten the race, they should have done it before they ever started, because that's going to play in. I mean, it screwed Christopher Bell and those guys. They had made pit stops based off of that. They did. That they were going to 100, and then literally as soon as those pit stops were over, they were like, "Oh, by the way, we're cutting it 25 laps short due to darkness." Yeah. That's not good. But again, what do? This is all uncharted territory. They didn't know. This is all learning. But the big story that I was so excited about Shane Van Gisbergen. Dang it, I'm gonna mess it up. Gisbergen. Shane Van Gisbergen wins the race in his first Cup start.
Yep.
I don't think that anyone's going to talk about how freaking huge that is. Do you know how hard that is?
No.
Do you know the last time it happened?
1960.
1963, and it was a Daytona qualifying race. So it wasn't even like a regular racetrack. It was a drafting.
Right.
I mean, not in the 60s, we weren't really restrictor plate racing, but completely different style of racing to what that is. This guy shows up and just spanks them.
Yeah, he did.
Qualified third, tops the practice charts, and then wins the race.
Did you know who he was?
No, never heard of him.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
And I feel
But he's a
dumb
big deal.
because he's a three-time V8 Supercar champion.
Yeah.
He won, I think they said 70 or 80 races.
I think 80.
Gosh, I mean that's hard
Yeah.
to do. That group is extremely
those cars
competitive.
Are nuts.
They are, and it's a really competitive group. Like it's really hard.
Did you you watch some of the videos?
Oh yeah,
of that
I was
stuff?
saying before any of this happened, during the race, he was running well, but
Yeah,
I was talking about how crazy those guys are.
yeah,
I think they're in the conversation to be the best race car drivers
yeah.
in the world.
I mean, clearly. I mean, we've got one that came out, Scott McLaughlin. He came out and went to IndyCar. He was a Penske driver, went to IndyCar. He's been successful. He's won races.
Yeah.
This is V8. I mean, Marcus Ambrose. Marcus Ambrose
was one of my favorites.
You love him as a driver, as a person. Like you really like to see him race. If he had been in some like
good equipment,
some little better equipment, he would have won a lot more races.
Yeah.
At least in the road courses.
Oh yeah.
I know he won a handful of Xfinity races.
Yeah, he did. He won, I think, a couple. He won at Watkins Glen and maybe Sonoma.
I think so.
Maybe. But he definitely won at Watkins
Definitely
Glen.
Watkins Glen, yeah.
But Xfinity, oh yeah. He was the man to beat on a road course. He was insane.
And they said that the last time that like a road course ringer like showed up and won a race was Mark Donohue in the 70s.
Mark Donohue, yeah.
Mark Donohue with Penske.
Yep.
He showed up I think it was at Riverside, they said.
Probably.
Yeah, Riverside in a Penske car, showed up and wins. It wasn't his first Cup start though. He had previous Cup starts up to that.
Yeah, right.
But that was the first time that was the last time that like a ringer, someone just showed up, kind of a one-off race and did this. How smart does Justin Marks look? I think the dude's looking like a genius right now.
Yeah.
He's got the 99, who is the least good of the group. He's won. He got his first win with the group, at Trackhouse with Sonoma last year.
You were super excited for that. I remember.
I remember Jackson was pretty ecstatic about that Sonoma win last year.
And then
he's got Ross Chastain, whose name has been said the most of any driver in the Cup Series this year. Like, not even close. Like, I don't even know who second place is, but it's nowhere near close to Ross Chastain. Now he enters a third car out of randomness, and the dude wins the race. I mean, Trackhouse, I don't know. They're here to stay. They're going to be here for a long time.
Yeah. Who would have thunk it?
I would have never thought. Okay. They said this sentence last night, and I looked at him and I said, can you believe that just got said on television? They said, 2 years ago, Justin Marks and Pitbull got together to start a Cup team. That was it. That was the sentence. And I was like...
Was it Mike Joy?
That's the most... No, it was...
Sounds like a Mike Joy sentence.
No, it was Rick Allen. Oh. I mean, it was NBC, so Mike Joy's...
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was Rick Allen, but still, like...
Rest in peace, Mike Joy.
Mike Joy's not dead, man.
He's fine.
Why do you say that? So, but I mean, like, imagine 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So you looking at someone and go, here in about 2 years, there's going to be a guy named Justin Marks and Pitbull, and they're going to start a Cup team, and they're going to be very successful.
Yeah, it's comical almost.
It is weird. And the other thing is, like, the other side of that is like, oh, by the way, the 6-time NBA basketball champion is also going to be an owner as well at the same time. What a weird time we live in NASCAR.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway,
super cool.
I was super excited,
pumped, man.
When that caution came out at the end, I was like, oh no. Like Justin.
Why'd you think he was going to do something stupid?
No, I didn't think he would. I figured
No,
Justin
not
Haley
him.
or
Yeah,
Chase was
that's
going to
what
do
I'm saying.
something stupid. And I think what saved him is that they were doing single file restarts.
Yeah.
I think if they'd went double file, someone would have done something stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, Bubba brought up that last caution, and I was like, dude, just want you to keep it straight. Just 2 more laps. I mean, they were half a lap away from the white flag.
Yeah.
I wanted him to keep it straight so bad. And then I look, and he just absolutely blows the corner and
yeah.
dives in there. But, I mean,
I saw that a lot, too, yesterday.
You did. But well,
was
the
crazy.
track was kind of wet.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it was
nuts,
damp.
man.
It was damp in place. It was actually really wet in some places, and it was dry in others. That was what I started to say. So I saw people asking, was this the best race of the year?
In my opinion?
Yeah, they were people
definitely the
saying
most
that on the
exciting
internet. I'm just
race.
curious if you
For
guys would
me-
agree with that.
For me,
You didn't watch
didn't
it.
watch
it was. I wish you would watch.
You should have
it. It
watched
was
this
nuts.
one. I don't know why you didn't watch this one.
For me, it was the most exciting, and I don't really like that stuff. I like traditional
Me too.
circle track racing.
Me too.
This was cool.
Is it? But was the race that great, or did we just love
I
the
thought
ending?
the racing was good.
But I did too. I thought so too.
I don't
I'm
think it
just
was
curious.
great, but it was good.
Yeah, it was fine. But if that track was dry, was the race as good?
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't think we see the mistakes that we saw. I mean, you saw a guy like Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr.
Noah Gragson wrecked.
Oh, bless his heart. He like turned 6. Yeah, I saw someone made a
The
meme that
same
was like Noah
spot.
went down to confront turn 6 afterwards, and it was turn 6 punching him in the face with Ross Chastain.
He did it 3 or 4 times.
He
man.
did, and that
Same
last
spot.
time, man, he was carrying some speed
Yeah.
into number 6.
It was drying up some, and they were moving a little bit quicker, and he freaking drilled it.
Oh man, that was that was not great.
I don't know. Maybe the racing would be a little bit better if it was dry.
You think it would be better?
I don't know if the racing.
I just
was,
don't
like,
think
all
you
that
see the
great.
mistakes. I don't think you see
I
any
don't think so
mistakes.
either.
I'm worried that they
Yeah.
string out and get single file.
Well, they might.
I don't know. I'm just curious.
Is it going to happen again next year?
I don't
Did
think they've
sign
announced.
a 2 or 3 year thing. Or?
At one point I heard they were definitely going back next year with like basically that probably being the last time. But then I also heard there was like a possibility that they don't go back. But I think after I think after how it went last night, I think we go back next year.
Cool.
I think in general it was it's a success. There's some learnings. There was some bad things that happened,
Oh, yeah.
and they got super unlucky with the weather. But in general, I think it was a success. It was cool.
too. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, the racing wasn't.
The last
great,
3
but it
laps
was
seemed to be pretty good. They're
You should have watched him come up through the field. That was what was crazy. He was tracking a second a
I
lap.
was like, that guy's going to win for sure.
A second a lap faster there at the end. He was and oh gosh, that last move that he made on Justin.
Where Justin passed him and then he crossed over.
Oh my,
That was sweet.
I was like, I'm like, you know, Emily's riveted,
guy,
of
man.
course. She's completely glued to the TV. So, and when I mean that, she's like this. And I was like, you gotta watch this. Like, look at him. He knows what he's doing. He knows that Haley's about to, he's about to blow the corner here. And he just like backed his,
gave him the room
he backed his breaking point up and then just absolutely obliterated him going into that breaking
and then
zone.
he was
gone.
gone.
And then the caution came out and then he was gone again.
Gone again.
But what was the thing? I think he was like, when they interviewed him, I don't think he could believe what it was going on. Cause like I feel like being a Kiwi, they're
Yeah.
usually pretty like Will Power, our old buddy Will Power, who hasn't liked us in a
Will.
little while.
yeah.
He gets pretty,
Yeah.
into it.
Maybe he'll like it again because I'm sitting here.
Maybe. I hope
like,
that's
"Ooh,
I hope that's the
something different."
case.
Yeah. Or maybe he
Toby's
was
not-
like, this
Toby's
is
not
way
here.
easier than my V8 supercar. I don't know.
Maybe Chase Elliott gets out of the car and says that dude's going to go back to New Zealand and tell them all how terrible drivers we are. I don't think that's true.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely.
But the other thing that I thought was interesting, so he qualifies like 3rd, Jenson Button qualifies like 8th, right?
Yep, he did.
Isn't it really interesting to see how guys who are not like normally in the series stack up when they're on a new track for everybody?
Right.
They went to Coda and those guys were not doing well. Like Jenson Button qualified like whatever, like in the 20s.
Yeah, and said it was terrible.
And said it was really hard and all this different stuff. But those guys have raced at Coda for like 3 years in those cars.
Yep.
You put them on even playing field and suddenly the cream rises to the top.
Right.
This SVG And Jensen Button qualifying in the top 10. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
Cool cars too. That Button car I thought was awesome.
It looks so. Yeah, that Mobil 1 car looked really
It
good.
always does.
Yeah,
that
it
Mobil
does.
1 car always looks so cool.
I thought the 91 car looked cool.
Oh, it was.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it was.
you know, the chrome numbers are cool.
Yeah.
You know, they're kind of back.
Yep,
So,
they are.
Anyway.
So
Yeah, so that was
and
NASCAR.
Jackson
I was
won.
really wound up and excited.
Yeah, I
Won
won.
again.
I won. I did, in fact, win again.
Such bullcrap.
It is. We are literally picked the best of the worst. And
do you
poor
have,
Win.
eight?
I even
Win
said
either,
I was playing to lose so that someone
You and I,
could
Win-
our
question
drivers
themselves.
were doing okay.
Win either
Yeah.
wins or finishes dead last in the
He
picks.
wasn't doing too bad until
If
he
you're
did.
not-
My boy
First.
Reddick was doing really good until he
He was.
decided to tear up the barriers there.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you ain't first, you're last.
Well, I
That
mean,
is my. That's
that
me.
is definitely
me.
That describes Win for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jackson wins picks. Where are we going next? Where are
Atlanta, right?
Atlanta.
we? Oh yeah, we're back to Atlanta
Going
in prime
fast.
time.
Going super
Restrictor
fast.
plate racing, basically. You pick last. You pick last. You get to pick
I get to
first.
pick first.
Who's your pick? We don't have Toby's pick, so sorry, Toby. You're gonna have to just text in your pick.
Man, I hate to do this. I don't want to pick a really good driver.
You can pick a really bad
I'm
one.
going to pick a good one.
Pick a terrible one.
I'm going to pick one that's running pretty well. I guess I'll go with William Byron.
What? What? You want to pick someone terrible?
No, I don't. I,
Oh,
I
you-
hate
oh.
to pick someone super good like
Oh,
that.
okay, I got you. I see
Freaking
what you're saying.
Hendrick car.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm going to go with.
I mean, of course you are. Why wouldn't you? He's
I
been
got to
really
win a
good.
race here. I have got.
I know we're
to get a
letting
couple
Jackson
wins.
just absolutely pull away with
I've
it.
been trying to pick some underdogs or whatever here and there, and it's screwing me up. I'm going to go with someone who has a shot.
Okay. Well, Toby is supposed to pick next, and I texted him, so let's continue and see if he texts us back.
All right.
How's that sound? All right.
That's good to me.
All right, cool. Where we're going next? Host
To Formula One.
Formula One, where we're about to watch our retention go drop.
It's gonna fall
They didn't
out.
even race this past weekend.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, it is yesterday.
In Austria. It was a
Austria.
sprint weekend.
How'd it go?
It's cool. It's a cool little track.
I love that track.
like the
I think it's so cool. It's basically the Formula One version of a short track. It's
Yeah.
cool. It's really fast and really short.
I saw one 10-second clip of Leclerc. And,
of Max just
yep. Yep.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
in a rocket ship.
That's
He
all I
got
watched.
passed at one point, and I guess he was like playing on his phone. He was like, "Oh,
No, he pitted off strategy. Everybody else pitted him in the virtual safety car, and he had such a big lead. He was like, "Nah, we'll just play it out like we run the whole thing." And so he drops to third, and it was straight up that Jeremy Clarkson meme where he's like, "Oh no!" Anyway,
Yeah.
and it was. I told him it was literally that. They're like, he's like, "Oh no, the Ferraris are ahead of me." Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, so tell us about it, Jackson. It was a sprint weekend, so there's always chaos in a sprint weekend.
Max Verstappen wins."
King Max. Everybody called Lewis King Lewis. I think we have to start
This
calling
is
Max
why
King
This
Max.
is why we don't do picks in Formula One
Did
because it
Lewis
would be
ever dominate like
Max.
this?
Yes.
He did.
In 2019,
I
he
knew
absolutely
he was
dominated.
crazy dominant.
I mean, they won 7 championships in a row. They won 8 constructor championships in a row, and he won 7 driver championships in a row.
Who you think's winning the constructors championship this year?
Well,
You
I think
it's
Red Bull. I think
or
Red Bull has doubled the
Red Bull
points
or
of
Red
any
Bull?
other manufacturer. So
No, they're like 90 points ahead of Ferrari.
okay,
Or no,
if Perez
No, they
doesn't
were
get his
100
head out of his hind end,
Ferrari had
they're gonna
155. Red Bull had 370.
yeah. So
That's
double.
what it was. Yeah, I was thinking about driver points.
Oh, driver points. Oh
Like,
yeah.
it was like Max was 70 ahead.
You know, I think Checo's got a shot. Checo doesn't have a shot. I don't know
No.
what his deal is.
Checo could win the rest of the races, and Max would still be.
He's
ahead
went
of
out
him
in
points.
Q3 4 weeks in a row. That's bad. Or sorry. He has missed Q3 4 races in a
Really?
row. This is bad.
Perez has?
Yes.
Ooh.
He's in the best car out there,
Yeah.
and he can't even make it into the top 10 during qualifying. Bad. I don't know where his head is. I don't know if they've like started contract negotiations or something, and it's gotten his head.
Maybe
I don't-
maybe sandbagging.
No, he's not sandbagging. I promise you, because Helmut Marko will absolutely straight up fire you, and he doesn't care to do it in mid-season. He did it to Alexander Albon. Halfway through the season, he said, "See ya," and he put somebody else in the car. Oh, sorry, that was Pierre Gasly, and he put Alexander into the car. Yeah, those guys do not care to fire your hind end right in the middle of the season, and if he doesn't figure it out, he's going to get fired. Yeah. You know what? The biggest thing I want to talk about here in Formula One, because we know how it always goes. Max always wins, right? Unless something's going to the only way he's going to lose a race this year is if something breaks on the car. and it's some sort of crazy mechanical thing like that. He's got them covered. They get to the end of the race yesterday. There's 2 laps left in the race. He comes up with the radio. How about we go for fastest lap? And they were like, Max, that's a little risky. He's like, come on. They pitted him. He came out 2 seconds ahead of Leclerc after the pit stop. He busts out fastest lap on the last lap of the race and pulled 2 seconds on Leclerc in 1 lap.
That's how you hurt feelings.
That's disrespectful. But on the other side, so as competitors, you go, wow, that was really crappy. Why did you do that to us? Imagine the confidence you have to have with your entire organization to say, okay, if we pit here, we're going to maybe have a 2 to 3 second lead.
Right.
So the pit stop has to be perfect.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, they bust off a 2.4 second pit stop during this last pit stop. That's so important.
Well, Red Bull also
Holy
has
smokes.
the world record for fastest pit
Yeah,
stop
they do.
on Max Verstappen's car.
Of course. Yeah,
So-
yeah. I mean, for sure. But still, as a whole organization, can you imagine the confidence that takes to say, okay, he wants to try it. I guess we'll do it.
No, I can't imagine that.
It's nuts. You will never, ever, ever see something like that in NASCAR. Ever. Period. It's just not possible. The cars are too close together. The organizations are too close together. You never see cars dominate like this.
Yeah.
I think the closest thing to domination like this was the year when Larson came back and he won the championship. He won like 10 races out of the 36. Then there was the year 2 years previous where Harvick and Denny won like
they
8
won
or 9 apiece.
9 or so, 10, just something like that.
Yeah. So like, I mean, you see it sometimes where someone wins like 8 or 9, but there's never a.
No.
What you doing?
I was trying to see if Toby had texted.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you were just chilling on like Insta or something. Anyway, you never see organizations dominate like this in NASCAR. It's crazy. I don't know. Do you think that there should be rule changes mid-season to try and fix things or fix in quotation marks to level the playing field? I think you guys know how I feel about this, but I'm curious what you think.
Just to all teams?
I mean, it could be all teams. It could be just specifically to them to try and keep them from being so dominant.
I don't know, man. I mean, this season's a wrap, I feel like. Why not just wait till the end?
I'm with you. So the reason I bring this up is Lewis comes out this week. Now, again, let me remind you, Lewis won 7 driver championships in a row and 8 constructor championships in a row. He comes out this week and says, this past week, and says, well, I think we should limit when we could start development on next year's car because I think it lets people have an upper hand moving forward. And Max's response was, we didn't have these conversations when he was dominating every week. So do you think that there should be a limit like this? Like, say they can't start until August or September on development for the next season's car. Because, like, they're working on 24 right now.
Well, you know how I feel about Hamilton.
Okay, pretend Hamilton didn't ask that question.
No.
Pretend I asked that question, not Lewis.
No, because I like Max. I like watching him drive really, really fast and hurt
He drives-
everybody's feelings.
oh, man.
So it's...
Well, good, because you're going to get to see it the rest of the season.
I'm
Because
gonna
they're
see
not
next
going to do
season,
that.
too. I like turning on the race and just sitting there and just drinking my coffee and just watching him watching the number go up. The gap just open.
I appreciate it. I think it's incredible, again, to see a team that is firing on all cylinders like that, and that they can be that dominant. Like, that's impressive. But but at the same time, I hate it. Right? I mean, I want to see like 3 cars battling for the championship. I don't know. It's just. But it's a fever dream. It's always been like this in Formula One, and it always will be. I mean, we've said this so many times. It's always going to be that way. So, anyway, Max, old King Max, wins again. Perez is going to lose his seat by the end of the year if he doesn't hurry. If he doesn't turn, unless he completely does a 180 from where he's been the past 4 races. Yeah, they'll put somebody else in the car. I don't know. Maybe Ricciardo will come back. They won't put Ricardo back. They are saying that he might go to AlphaTauri next year or whatever.
It'll still be terrible.
The team is going to get rebranded, from what Helmut Marko said. So they won't be AlphaTauri anymore.
This will be terrible.
Yeah, they're not doing so good. Nick DeVries probably going to lose his seat this year too, I would say.
It's like if Haas was to change the name of the company.
Hey,
just rebrand. And
Williams has been doing good. Speaking of teams, I mean, comparatively, they're not dead last. I mean, Alex is finishing up in the points. He's qualifying he's getting to Q3 with a car that should probably not be in Q3.
Is that the oldest team in F1 right now?
I'd say Ferrari's the oldest team.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course.
Yeah,
duh. That was stupid.
Ferrari's the oldest team in racing.
Why are you even on a racing podcast?
Is that an accurate statement I just made? Is Ferrari the oldest team in racing? Period across the board. Or would you think it was Ford?
It'd be Ford.
Probably Ford. I think I looked this up one time. Go ahead, continue on. Let me look this up real quick. Oldest race team.
Also, let the record show. Look how long we're waiting for Toby's response. But yet, a couple weeks ago, when they were waiting for my response, they waited 14 seconds.
Yeah, because we were at the end of the podcast instead of at the very beginning.
Just this week. Just had to keep talking.
But people get.
Let's call him.
In the world.
As he's with his.
Probably not the best thing to do right now.
As he's with his family, not on his phone. He does have notifications turned off for Snapchat though. He gets on manually and checks Snapchat because he gets so many notifications it annoys him.
Well, then send him a text.
So he probably didn't get of his number.
I don't know. We'll have to look this up. I don't know who the oldest one is, to be honest. It didn't come up quickly with Google. I know that the Wood brothers are the oldest NASCAR team. That's the first thing that popped up when I clicked on that. Anyway, we'll figure it out. But all right. I asked a question last night. I've been trying to do like a question each week to drive it. I'm going to make you guys make a question up this week though.
Okay.
So with Shane van Gisbergen winning last night, it made me think, what driver from any series would you like to see come race in any series? So what I mean by that is you could pick a Formula One driver that comes to NASCAR, or a NASCAR driver that goes to Formula One, or a sprint car driver that comes to whatever. All right, go-karts.
Let's put Ross Chastain in Formula One.
Oh man.
With Trackhouse rules.
Trackhouse rules. Is that your pick? Is that what you want to see?
That would be very, very upsetting to watch hundreds of millions of cars get destroyed.
$100 million of cars.
Mm-hmm. You knew what I was saying.
I know. I'm just clarifying.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's bad. But I didn't think he would cause that much damage.
He's like, oh no, I got passed. Huh.
I don't know. It would be interesting to see Ross in a Formula One car.
Yeah.
Could he handle it?
I'd like to see Kyle Larson do that, or IndyCar.
In Formula One. Well, we're going to see Kyle Larson in IndyCar next year.
Yeah.
Going for the 524, running the double.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's just the one. Yeah.
I'd like to see him run on a.
The only thing that bothers me.
Schedule.
I would too. The only thing that bothers me is I said the same thing about Jimmy Johnson, and that didn't go well.
Yeah.
And I hate that because Jimmy's awesome.
But Jimmy was also farther along in his career. I mean, he was
older.
He was.
But he won 7 championships.
I know.
I just thought
he hadn't done.
He raced those endurance cars and stuff. I mean, they run 24 Hours of Daytona. They won that a couple times. I don't know. I just had higher expectations, and that's not a criticism.
Oh, no.
And I don't think it tarnishes his legacy or any of that crap that people try and say. But I just thought he would be more competitive.
Yeah.
They said from what I heard, in stock cars, and you kind of saw it whenever we were running up at the track. Oh, we can talk about that too. When we went to the track at the simulator, I was telling you, with the open wheel cars, there's a lot of a lot of braking for a short amount of time, and then it basically just gets the car turned, and then you go back full throttle. You let the aerodynamics do the rest of it. They said that's what he struggled with the most. In a stock car, you would hit it and you'd kind of hold it and then just trail brake and then get back into the gas. So you'd kind of roll into the brake and then back into the gas. Or IndyCar, you had to stab the brake and then just slam right back into the gas. Downshift, slam the brake, downshift, and then get right back into the gas. They said that was he was struggling with the most.
That's what Jimmy was.
Yeah, I mean, he had how many years in NASCAR
doing the same.
I mean, how do you reprogram your brain? I mean, it's hard to do even just on a racing simulator, let alone in real life.
Yeah.
And, come on.
Yeah.
So,
do you think now that we've done the simulator, we could actually be successful in F1?
No. I don't think we could. I don't think we can make it at a pit road.
Again, it would be very sad to me to watch a $13 million race car hit a wall.
I'd love to do that.
Oh, I would climb in one.
I would.
If someone was like, hey, Jake, do you want to ride this Formula One car?
I'd be in it.
I would be in it so fast. First off, they'd be like, you're going to have to lose 150 pounds because you're a fatty.
Would you jump right in?
I mean, they'd slather my honey in butter, and I'd slide right in. Because I promise you, if someone says, "Hey, Jake, you want to drive a Formula One car?" the first word that comes out is yes, please.
I would say a 4-letter word for sure.
Oh yeah,
that's it. And then I'd get it and drive it.
I would definitely. Yeah. There's no way. There's no way that you turn that down.
No.
If someone says,
if I
"Do you
didn't
want
have
to
to
drive
pay for the car," I would get in it and I'd pull its ears back and I would look like a fool. But I would have.
Have you seen the clip of Richard Hammond and Top Gear trying to drive a Formula One car? That's what we would look like.
No, but I know what I'm looking up later.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No,
it's
funny. He like stalls it, and like the optimal brake temperature is like 1,500 degrees Fahrenheit. So your brakes basically don't work until you get them up to that temperature.
They work better as you.
They work better the hotter you get them. So like when it's really easy to spin the car out and to to cause it. That's why I said I don't think we get it off pit lane. I think that we would wreck it on pit lane.
That'd be so.
I'm giving it full beans. Straight out the gate.
I mean, that's pretty much what they said in that clip. If you watch it, they're like, you got to turn it like $9,000, and then you'll be able to.
That's insane. Yeah,
he just kills it. They have to start him back up.
So funny. So, who's your driver that you want to see?
I wish I had thought about this more.
I don't know a lot of these guys.
That was your question.
I know. But I asked the question and then I went about my life.
I love seeing these supercar drivers coming over and driving that.
I want to follow that series closer. I want to watch that and to get to know some of those racers because I mean I was really excited last night. Like I haven't been really wound up about someone winning a race in a while. But I was like, it's just so impressive. But I know I really like Scott McLaughlin. Like I said, he came over from V8 Supercars and went to IndyCar.
He's the guy that was that's pretty good friends with Dale Jr., isn't he? That went on the podcast with him.
He's been on the podcast, I think, but I don't know if they're like good friends.
Early 30s.
Yeah, blonde-headed guy, got the real thick Aussie accent.
Yeah.
He drives the 3 car for Penske.
Yeah.
The Pennzoil car he was racing in Indianapolis.
Right.
Yeah. He's cool. He's got a cool personality. He's like, he's that Aussie New Zealander kind of attitude of just kind of like, it was like last night he sent out a tweet after the race. It was like, I'm so FKN excited for, Shane.
FKN?
Like,
I don't understand.
When? Why you gotta be that way?
You just turn Jake's microphone off and you can just tell when.
It's okay. I think he knows. Anyway, he says that, and then they put it up on the broadcast, and then he like tweets like 10 minutes later. He's like, "Man, I'm glad I abbreviated that tweet." But yeah, so I can think those guys are cool. I'm with you. It would be interesting to see Larson in a Formula One car, like you said. I remember who was it? Alonso and Stewart did a car swap at one point. Tony Stewart and Fernando Alonso. Ooh, Fernando. Oh, Fernando Alonso in a Cup car.
How old is he now, though?
40-some. I would love to see Fernando Alonso come race a Cup race in that Project 91 car. Because he's got that, like, don't care mentality, but he's a super, super smart race car driver. Like, this year, I've seen him call, like, during the race, be racing and look at a big, like, Jumbotron.
Right.
And saw Lance, his teammate, doing something on the Jumbotron. He comes over the radio while he's racing and says, "Hey, tell Lance that he needs to do this in that corner to get through that corner better." Like, what kind of like meta out of body experience do you have to be able to do to drive one of those cars to the limit that he is, which is probably right to the limit, and then also help your teammate by watching them on the television that you passed and then coming over the radio telling them, and it did, and then like it picked up his lap time when he did it.
Oh.
It's weird. Like that would be cool. That'd be super cool. I still don't think that he comes and does what Gisbergen did. I don't think he would.
Why?
Because Kimi didn't. Kimi had a good run. He was running at Watkins Glen. He was running like top 10 or whatever, but he was not coming through the field like Shane did last night. Like, wasn't going to happen. Then he got wrecked. But I still think like I said earlier, you have to put them on even playing ground. You have to put them on a track that they've never been to or something that everyone's not been to. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, Alonso in a Cup car. I'm all for it. That would be great. Or like imagine bringing a Formula One guy and putting him on a short track, like taking him to Hickory. That would be so cool, wouldn't it? Imagine. I mean, I don't know. I would go.
If someone calls and says, "Where's the rest of the track?"
Yeah, if someone calls and they're like, Fernando Alonso's going to race at Hickory this weekend, I'm buying a ticket online. Like, I'm buying it early. I want to make sure I get there. Can I spot for Fernando Alonso? Like, that would be awesome. He's like, I don't even know what you're saying.
What are you talking about? Bumper, corner, bumper?
Yeah,
corner,
door bumper clear. What? What are doors? What are bumpers? Anyway, Toby still hasn't texted us back, so we're going to have to make our own pick. Sorry, Toby.
Y'all could just do it over Snapchat later.
No.
I already chose.
No.
Okay. Well.
We have to do it live, Win.
Okay.
We're professionals here. We do things the right way. I guess I'm next.
Winner.
Who did you pick again?
William Byron.
I'm going with the underdog, Corey LaJoy.
Corey LaJoy?
Corey LaJoy. You heard me. I didn't stutter.
You really need to win. Are you sure you want to do that?
LaJoy is going to stomp William Byron this weekend.
You think the 7 car is going
LaJoy. He almost won this race last year. Corey LaJoy.
Corey LaJoy, if you didn't catch it. On the 11th time he said that.
I already picked Corey LaJoy. Make your pick, Jackson.
I think that I'll
Corey
do...
LaJoy.
Is that Jake's microphone or Wynn's? I don't know who I turned off.
All right.
I think I'll pick another one trying to lose so that someone else can win. Let's do...
Did you do your research? He said he was going to research earlier.
Let's do Harvick.
Harvick. Okay. That's actually a good pick. Yeah. I'm with you on that.
I guess.
If they could get some good luck. Man, they were god awful yesterday.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
This weekend was bad.
I didn't want to pick Logano because I didn't.
I was going to, but
he won this race to begin of the season.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want to pick him.
Yeah. Oh,
give it to somebody else.
BK would be a good pick too. He almost, if he hadn't let Joey get to his right
Too
rear.
bad you already chose.
Who does Toby?
Corey LaJoy.
Who does Toby hate?
Who does he hate?
All the NASCAR drivers.
We definitely know the answer.
Who
the 23.
That's Toby's pick for this week.
No, I'm not going to do that to him.
I'll do it to him.
I'm the host this week.
No, I'm not going to do that to him.
This week. That's Toby's choice.
Actually, 23 would be a very good pick here this week.
Then it's not Toby's pick.
If you're going to put, if you're going to pick the 23, pick them at Talladega, Daytona, or Atlanta.
Yep. Or Kansas.
Or yeah, apparently Kansas, where 2311 is bad fast for some reason. Yeah.
Track sucks. Right.
I mean, you put on a pretty good race earlier this season.
It was good this year.
And you missed it, and it was a good race.
It was the highlight reel was okay, and I was surprised.
Corey LaJoy.
There's no way.
I figure out how to work this soundboard
if
better.
I win, I'm going to come back so smug on Monday. Are you even going to be here Monday?
No.
I leave Sunday.
Oh, okay.
I leave Sunday.
Yeah, I'm going to be so smug on Monday if I win, just so you know. And I'm going to be completely indifferent.
Jake is the worst loser and also the worst winner of anyone I know.
That's not true.
Oh, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see yourself the other day when you got mad at me for not letting you pick in the proper order?
That was different.
I think that's the worst loser I've ever seen in my life.
That was different. That wasn't even about losing. That was just about... That was about the order being out of order.
Yeah, exactly.
That was different.
Making you lose. Actually, you won, did you not?
I was I was upset before that because I was upset before that because I had to pick out of order.
Okay, all right. Excuse me. You still lost, by the way. Oh, that was the week I won.
Yeah, and let's remind ourselves of the winnings of this contest.
Nothing.
We need to come up with something.
We'll make a trophy. Okay, I'll tell Ken that we need a trophy. Ken loves to make trophies. I'll tell him. Yeah,
does he have a 3D printer or something?
No. He like screws wood and stuff together. He makes trophies.
The trophy that's in Eugene's race shop.
Yep. I'm gonna tell him that we need a trophy for the winner for picks, and I'm gonna let him make it. And I'm gonna say, let your mind run wild. So
it's gonna be very phallic.
I mean, maybe I don't know.
Awesome.
Probably
That'd
not.
Be so funny.
It's like, you bunch of weirdos. Here you go.
That's true. He probably did think that. I'm pretty sure he listens sometimes though. So that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Because he told me the other day, like he sent me a message and said why the Nesbitts were so fast here in one of those races. And I was like, when did we talk? I was like, oh, on the podcast. Was Ken listening to the podcast? Yeah. So anyway. All right, guys. You guys happy?
Yeah, shoot. Yeah,
I feel like this is a short one today.
Well,
yeah, a little
49
shorter.
minutes.
Yeah.
Not too good. Shorter.
When did you get a date?
It wasn't on the screen, so nobody can know.
Yeah, did you get your date? You didn't get your date?
No.
You didn't shoot your shot?
No.
I think Wynn's set, though.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough.
Based off of information gathered the other day.
Wynn shoots his shot, and then on the same Monday that he gets a girlfriend, basically.
Once every 3 years, I go for someone.
Takes a little poke. Well,
I'm the
little jab at the prize.
I am a stud.
Okay, on that bombshell.
It might be once every few years.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, you shot your shot, and then. So you're rejecting her. Sorry, Diana. You've been rejected.
It's not like that.
Oh, man. Yeah. She said she was laughing so hard at last week listening to that at work that she had to tell her other employees what she was laughing at, or the other coworkers, because she was laughing so hard.
Really?
Yeah. She was like, that is not what I thought you guys were talking about when you told me that this happened. I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know how you expected it to go, but Diana. That was it. He's not sorry.
I feel bad about it.
Rejected. Corey LaJoy. Are you guys happy?
Yeah, very.
Jackson, you happy?
Sure.
Close us out then.
Yeah.
Tell them where to follow us. This is why he doesn't get to stay at the soundboard. This is why you don't get to sit at the soundboard.
You're the one that made me stay here.
Where can they find us?
They can find the podcast on anywhere that there's podcast access. Spotify, Apple Podcast, and probably somehow on Google for those Google people. Yes. Also on Spotify and the YouTube. Which also is where this is being aired probably for most of you.
Yes. And don't forget to follow us on social media. We try and keep you guys up to date on what's going on with our videos and stuff. Got a new project coming on Friday. Galaxy.
I did the intro to one of these videos as well.
Yeah, you did. On this one. It'll be this one on Friday.
It was mostly for comic relief, but Jake liked it, so he left it alone.
Yep. And it also probably because he said, make sure you leave that in. So I did.
It was funny. Watch it and you'll find out.
See you guys later. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks. Bye.